Hey guys, this is Milton. Thank you for joining Life is a Dream, Death is an Awakening podcast. I've been wanting to record this episode for a while, but I've been sick. My voice, it was hoarse. I just actually went to the hospital this morning. Today, earlier, and they put a mask on me. They said, "Oh, COVID's back on a rising." So I'm just looking at it. I'm like, okay, just giving my penicillin, my antibiotics, because I know it's like um, what do you call it? An infection, my throat infection. So who knows what I was doing, but yeah, let's get this started. I've been wanting to talk about this for a while because I think it affects everybody in our age group. I'm 42 years old and I'm talking to 45-year-olds, even older guys. So, learning about the truth, right? The truther community. Um, and then listening to other podcast recordings, and then Kati, Alex's wife, she mentioned how we're all fucked up. She was with Rob Nolkin, which I did a Rob Nolkin episode, and he's great. And we all met in LA, so that's what the conversation started, like how we're all fucked up, and it's true. And then I remember how I fell in love with psychology during my college years, and I remember reading about Eric Erickson's psychosocial development stages, how there's different stages throughout our lives. And I'm like, wait, which one are we going through right now? So I went back and did a little research, remembering what happened. And we are on stage 7, I believe, out of 8. So this is the uh, generativity versus stagnation stage. And that's it affects people between 40 and 65 years of age. So generativity is pretty much making your mark on the world. And I'm like, that makes sense because I'm looking for this brotherhood. And why am I reaching out to these podcast guys and wanting to connect, wanting to make a bond, a brotherhood, if you will? Um, I am a gamer, so I always loved RPGs, role playing games, where there's like 4 people in your party at a time, sometimes 3, and they all have different abilities. So I always wanted to do that in real life, either create my own video game or connect with people that have different powers. Even just I'm just again I'm just working here. I remember one of my favorite Nightmare on Elm Street movies was the Dream Warriors, where they transformed into something else and they went into the dream stage and they were battling Freddy. And there was a video game on that, and I loved it. I just loved the whole camaraderie, like um, helping one another based on their strengths and weaknesses. So that was, I love that. So I'm like, yeah, what? I don't have any kids, so I'm like, what am I contributing? What is my purpose in life? Um, so I started reaching out, helping people. Right, I'm like contributing donations because I felt I had no purpose. I'm like, why am I here? Like, what can I do to help? So there's people that have talents. I'm like doing podcasts, sharing their knowledge. I'm like, I will never do that, right? This is a full circle. Again, I've said it in the previous session. So I'm like, let me help out. So I helped out a couple of people, and then yeah. So that was my mark on the world, right? Because I guess one of my circumstances is I don't want to feel forgotten or abandoned. So I'm like, let me make sure these people don't forget me. So that was one of my tactics, I guess. Now thinking back in hindsight. Um, so again, more about generativity. Again, making the mark on the world. I'm reading some notes. I'm sorry, I don't have it memorized. Developing relationships with family, making commitments to other people, mentoring others, contributing to the next generation. Again, I have no kids, so I'm like, okay, I have a niece. She's great. Um, Friends that I've met, they have kids, so I'm like, what can I do to pass on our knowledge. So yeah, that's what I'm doing now. And it says some contributions to generativity. It's pride in work and family, regardless of if you have no offsprings, you want to contribute to other people's kids. Where are my notes? Hold on, sorry. All right, let me make this smaller. The screen, you don't need to see me. Sorry, I'm not as prepared as I thought I was. Okay, there you go. Yeah, feeling you're a part of a family unit or larger group or community, like a brotherhood, provides feeling of inclusion. So I think that's where I am now. I want to be included in other people's um, memories, lifestyles, but without being in the way. I don't want to be in their way. Hopefully, I just want to help. But please, if I'm in the way, which I mean, I have been, and people have told me, I'm like, thank you for telling me, and I agree. So thank you, and you know who you are. And the biggest contribution is taking responsibility for their actions and feeling productive. So that's one of the, I guess, characteristics of you being of the generativity. Sorry, I'm not an expert, but who is, right? And that's when I was thinking, what's an expert? An expert is someone that just has things memorized, right? So if that's the case, then I'm not an expert. Okay, so okay, that's generativity, but now versus stagnation. So stagnation is failure to find a way to contribute, feel disconnected from society or a common community. Okay, so one of their characteristics is being self-centered, narcissism. Okay, on the wait, is that me? Failing to get involved with others, just being an asshole, pretty much, right? Because you're pushing people off. There you go. It's a tactic. Maybe because you don't feel you belong, so you're not good enough. So you're like, nah, I don't, I don't need you, right? So, all right. Let's see. Not taking interest in productivity. I guess just being a lazy bum. I guess no efforts to improve self. Um, Placing one's concerns above all. Being a victim, like, oh man, like finding excuses to do stuff. I knew a lot of people like that. I think I still do. But again, I try to stay away from them because it's contagious, right? Hmm, that could be worse than a virus. Anyways, consequences of stagnation, reducing cognitive function. Functions refer to multiple mental abilities, including learning, thinking, reasoning, remembering, problem solving, decision making, and attention. Poorer health. Yeah, I could see fat people. Again, I'm not like this limits, but I'm getting healthier. Ever since I discovered like the lies of the globe and how that's indoctrination in school, I'm like, wait, what else is there that they're not? That's part of that. So I'm like, wait, food. They tell us breakfast, lunch, dinner. You have to eat 3 times a day. Eat an apple a day. Takes the doctor or whatever. You don't go to the doctor. That's what it's meant to be. But that's all sugar. You have to eat like 3 meals, and they keep you like it's not good ingredients. So you already set up to fail already. So that's because ever since I learned that, like, oh shit, food is a business. So I'm like, I don't want to take part of that. So let me eat less. Actually, I don't even eat breakfast, coffee. But even then, coffee now is like it's upsetting my stomach. So I'm just drinking tea, especially because of my throat. And I don't need coffee. So maybe we'll just switch it up to tea for a while. That's expensive. Man, Starbucks like $6. I'm in California, so man, I've heard other places it's cheaper, like Canada. Alex mentioned Canada is cheaper. I'm going to see. Well, first shout out for my mental podcast. Um, I supported them. They're very talented. So it's not. I'm just saying I'm the reason why. You know, it's because I believe in their talent. Raul and Alex, they have great chemistry, and Claude is a mastermind behind it. So this is a good show, the whole production. So I'm like, let me, they're asking for donations. I'm like, here, there you go, one thing at a time. And Alex came to LA, and because of him, we brought others together. And I'm gonna meet Raul in New Mexico next week. So I'm excited to see that. I mean, for that. So again, this is the podcast. We make things happen. It's not just about talking. So there you go. That's proof. I brought people together. I'm going to see other people. Um, Joseph Colin Wright, we met him in LA. He came down. He did this is an original. Joseph Colin Wright. It's not what I wanted, but I do appreciate the love that he put in making it. So thank you, JCW, for that. We met Josh Monday. I wish I knew him more. But anyways, let's go back to midlife crisis. All right, let's see. Where am I now? Yeah, poor health, low quality relationships, poor social connections. Social relationships play an important role in healthy aging. I see that because we need brothers, right? Besides our partners, we need someone to like bitch at because our partners, whether male or female, they don't want to see a weak partner. So we hold a lot of things back. I do. So I know there's others like that. Even not too long ago, I felt so alone because I had so much to talk about, but I couldn't explain it without my partner thinking I'm weak. So I had to be strong, and later on I let it out. Um, yeah, what is this? Decreased life satisfaction. They will look at their lives with regret, sense of boredom, and overall dissatisfaction. Yeah, that's a thing. Yeah, for sure. Um, so midlife crisis. At this point in our lives, we might be going through something referred to as midlife crisis. Okay, that's what okay. Reflecting other accomplishments, considering the future, and regret opportunities, such as going back to school, pursuing a certain career, or having children. Yeah, we had doubts, right? Like what ifs? Ifs. Remember that IFs. I have a some kind of theory. So but if you have the qualities of generativity, you do not have to worry about this, right? Because a lot of the things we lose focus on what we think we don't have, which everything we have, we look in our 40s, we've been through a lot, and here we are. So let's think ahead, like even 10 years, we're going to be okay. Even I should be telling myself that. Actually, this is another thing why I wanted to record this. It's more of a diary for myself. Um, to see my growth again, my checkpoints in life. This is a good chapter. Even earlier, I'm beating myself. I'm an overthinker, which means I could go into a really dark place on my own, and that's yeah, it gets lonely because like people don't want to hear you bitch all the time, right? But it's not even that. It's I psych myself out already thinking people are not going to relate or they're not going to understand. So So, what's the takeaway? How am I contributing to the world? You have to ask yourself that. Again, it's funny because I'm again, I don't practice what I preach, so I'm questioning. I don't stop and look around. Like, look where I am. I own my home or own the bank owns it, but oh god, that's another. Don't get me started, Milton. Yeah, I'm talking to you, and it's hard without having somebody else because you feed off energies, right? You bounce off ideas, and it's hard to get into a dark place. Not even dark, it's just second guessing, and it's like, why are you doing this? But anyways, let's keep going. Advice: everything you are looking for, you already have. I think these are my notes. Branching out is fun, but make sure you have a strong foundation. Yeah, like I think we have to focus. I think that's the earlier stages where you focus on having a relationship. I forget what it's called, but I think that's it's an important step and growth, even in foundations, right? Even having a good a plants. Make sure the soil is great, right, for it to grow. That's how I talked to Alex about this. Because we were going on a little adventure, like spiritual and emotional. We became best friends and we became children. But I even now I'm thinking it's because we had strong foundations from each side that we were not doing anything bad, but I could see how others could see it that way. Anyways, that's off topic, but that I mean no, but that was a midlife crisis. It was a good real I realized, sorry, I'm not gonna speak for him. I realized, yeah, I needed to wake up. It's okay to go to those stages. Oh, that's another thing. Okay, so now that you guys don't hopefully don't think I'm completely crazy, because there's Eric Erickson, he's like a German psychologist, or so. Yes, he could be like another character, right? But anyways, let's go along. He's a great. So and you could even research it. It's not just me making this up. So, but now that hopefully I'm not completely crazy. Let's get crazy. And I didn't write notes, did I? Because I'm gonna go completely off topic, because I saw this movie last week, and it was in theaters, and I guess it didn't do so well. So it was in Amazon Prime. So then my voice again. IF, or If, which is Imaginary Friend. It's with Ryan Reynolds, I believe. The what's this? The movie Deadpool. Actually, I had to see that with Deadpool Wolverine. I would like to see that. But anyway, so it's about, man, because especially how has men. So I was thinking, how is there a way to fix a stagnation or any of the stages that we need help on? Is it too late for us to fix that? Because I'm thinking there's certain people that come into your lives that they transport you to earlier stages in your life. It could be either food, a song, and they'll remind you of something that happened in the past, or maybe something tragic, something that needed closure. So I'm thinking, can we do that? If you find someone that could take you to earlier stages in your life, and I think one of the stages too is, man, is it autonomy versus doubts? That's when you develop, is between ages 18 months to 3 years, I believe. I thought I wrote it down, but it's when you could do things on your own, or you depend on others to do it for you. So I think, thinking back, I think I'm more independent. My family was always like that because we didn't have any maybe trust with other people. That's the stage before, I think, trust and versus mistrust. So I think you need that, because if you can't trust people, like, just die, what's the point? I'm kidding. Go back. I'm saying go back to fix that. There's ways of fixing that. So I think, so back to the movie I If. I know I'm going back and forth. That's why I need somebody else to guide me, right? To, like, Milton, shut up. It's because if you could go back, so the premise of the movie was people forget that they had imaginary friends, but that was their happiest time in their lives for whatever reason. So I think we could go back to those times if you find someone that it's gonna. I had some. I'm not gonna mention names because I don't want to. Like, that person took me back to, like, the happiest, where I actually, not the happiest, but it scarred me, and I just went back in time. Huh? Maybe that's time travel. Hmm. Something to think about. Checkpoint. I'll go back to this and I'll probably write something about that or talk because that's the whole point of this, right? So anyways, so I went back and I'm like, that filled my joy. I'm like, okay, I'm this happy kid again. I have a friend. So um I think that's special. You find someone like that. And even in the movie they show you like some guy like the smell of bread brought him so much joy and that reconnected him with his imaginary friend. And then I was thinking like, am I imaginary? Are we imaginary? Huh. Man, off topic again. See, I feel like I've been talking for hours and it's only been 20 minutes again. I don't know. But anyways, I think that's so interesting. So find and there's this other guy at the gym. Like we're talking, and I he keeps like not following me in a bad way, but like he just wants to talk to me. Maybe he finds some kind of I don't know. He told me like I guess we just click. I'm like okay, fuck. And I was going through something. I was like, please stay away from me. I don't want another disappointment. But anyways, so every time he wants to go have breakfast or let's go get a smoothie after the workout, I'm like, no, dude, leave me alone. I just want to go to work and I don't know, I'll be miserable. So I'm like, let's fuck it. He's here for a reason. So I went and then that took me back to my I was again I grew up in Mexico, so I was in kindergarten and this guy I was uh, we were so poor, like no money, right? And then this guy's like, let's go have breakfast in Spanish, of course. Oh, I'm going to do maybe a Spanish session. Interesting, maybe. Practice my Espanol. And anyway, so the guy's like, oh, come, let's go have breakfast. I'm like, no, no, I have no money. It's okay. It's on me. Every day for like the whole year we were in kindergarten. So this guy took me back to that. So that, oh, wow, this is special. Wow. Mm, sweet. So should I have points when I finish? I mean, why? So hopefully, I don't know. I think as grown men, we need to be like we need to escape, right? But we can't lose ourselves. So it's okay to escape once in a while. Like plan something, even a retreat, right? I think that's a common denominator with a lot of people that I've listened to the podcast. It's not that we're miserable, but we need that brotherhood. The women are not even no, I'm sorry, partners are not gonna understand. Like my partner, we're both males, but like we have our own lanes, like as a provider there's certain struggles that I would go through that he doesn't and vice versa. um I think women have their own language. I was listening to the Firmamento. There was a they're called midwives. She's mentioned, I forget her name, I'm sorry, but yeah, they have their own language, things that the men will never understand, gay or straight, like having kids, all these things. And men, we like women will never understand what's going through our heads, our emotions. We can't really talk about our emotions, right? So I think that's finding special friends that you travel in time with special. So I'll leave it at that. Um, yeah. Thank you guys, and hopefully I'll do more of these. Thank you.